Welcome back, my dear students. How was the quiz? What a joy to hear this. Mr. Mac, so proud of you. You know why? You're the best. And that's why Mr. Mac is here to bring the best for you. Because you deserve the best. And it's coming from the best. Well, my dear student, in this sub-lesson, we're going to talk about finding the area of a sector. Okay, now let's understand the word sector first. Okay, so we know that when we have a circle, all right, a complete circle. Okay, now what is the angle? If I have to give you, let's say right there, the center, and this is the radius, starting point. Okay, what is the complete angle for the circle? We know that's what? 360 degrees. Okay, now if I had to cut a piece like this, now this is what we call sector. Alright, this is a sector. We want to find what is the area if I give you in the form of a sector. In other words, if I give you an angle, let's say if I told you this is 60 degrees. So what is the area of the sector with the 60 degrees? Okay, now let's go back to the earlier sub-lesson that we learned, which is the area. So we know that, let's say for example, okay, this area, okay, what's the formula for this area? We know that area equals to pi r squared. Alright, now let's say for example, Mr. got this whole area right there, that's the formula. If I had to cut this circle into half, okay, I'm going to cut this circle right in the center, goes to the center point. Now, I got half circle right here. Okay, took that half circle, I put right there. So pretty much, I take half of that, am I right? So this area now is what? 1 over 2 pi r squared. Alright, now I take this half and I half it further. Alright, further, that means quarter. Alright, it's become a quarter. Alright, take this piece now, I put it right there, the quarter of that circle. Alright, so now that area for that now becomes what? 1 over 4 pi r squared. The original area now I made it into 4, 1/4 of it. Alright, so 1/4 of the area. See that? So now let's see how did we get from half and 1/4. Now you know that the angle is what? 360, okay? So it's pretty much 360 over 360. You know that a complete cycle, alright? Cycle like this is 360. Since the whole piece, the whole circle, we're going to take 360 divided by a circle has 360. Okay? And then we're going to times it pi r squared. 360 divided by 360 is what? It's 1. That's why you get pi r squared. Now look at this one. What is the angle of this one? 180. Okay, 180 over, what's the total angle of a circle? 360. See that? Okay, now if I just simplify this, okay, I'm going to put back the pi r squared, alright? Let me simplify. 0, 0 cancels out. I can divide 18 by 18, gives me 1. So 18 divided by 18 is 1. 36 divided by 18 is 2. So that gives me what? 1 over 2 pi r squared. See that? Okay, now let's take this one, alright? So what's the angle of this? It's 90 degrees, alright? So that means 90 over the overall of a circle, what's the angle? 360 pi r squared, alright? Now 0, 0 cancels out. 9 divided by 9 is 1, because I can divide 9 with 9 and 36 with 9. So I need to find a common number that numerator and denominator can be, pretty much I'm reducing, simplifying it. So that's why I need to find a common number that can divide 9 and 36, which means 9 I can divide, alright? 36 also I can divide by 9. So now 9 divided by 9 is 1, alright? 1. 36 divided by 9 is 4. 4 pi r squared. 1 over 4th pi r squared. See that? The quarter. So that means if I take the ratio of the angle of the sector that I'm looking for, like for example in this case 60 degrees. So what that would be? To find the area of the sector, I say 60 degrees over 360 pi r squared. It's a fraction. I'm creating a fraction for that from the circle. See that? So I simplify. 0, 0 cancels out. I can divide 6 by 6 and I can divide 36 by 6. Alright? So I can divide both by 6 and 6. So that gives me 6 divided by 6 is 1. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So that section, that sector is 1/6 of this circle. See that? That's what that means. 1/6. That means I'm finding 1/6 of that area. 1/6 of this area of a circle, which is right there. Okay, if I say 1/3 of the area, that means right there. That's the 1/3 of the area right there. Okay, because 1, 2, 3, so 1/3 of the area, which means what would this angle be? 120. All right, but look at that. If I say 120 over 360, cancel 0, 0. I can divide 12 by 12. I can divide 36 by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 36 divided by 12 is 3. See that? 1/3 pi r squared. So, what does it tell you? Whenever you have a sector, so you need to know the angle of the sector. You divide that by 360 and times it with pi r squared, the area formula. That gives you the area of the sector. Alright? The area of the sector, right there. Okay, good. Now we should do. Alright, let Mr. Mike erase the board. Let's do a few problems. Alright, I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, let's see Mr. Mac to give you a circle, and then I told you find the area of this sector. So what's the formula? And this is the center, okay? Always to the center. So what's the formula again? The area of the sector is, so this angle to the center over 360 times pi r squared. So that means I can give you anything. If I told you, find, all right, the area of the circle with the angle to the center is 45 degrees. And ask you to find this area. And of course I have to give you the radius, all right? So I give you the radius 4 centimeters. So you need to know the angle and the radius. All right? So now I know now I can find the area is 45 degrees over 360 times pi. R is 4 centimeters squared. All right? We're just going to set the centimeter aside because we know the area, the unit is going to be what? Centimeters squared. Okay? So simplify this. Alright, so 45 and 360. Okay, so let's take this aside. 45 and 360. Okay, we want to reduce this, okay? So 45 and 360. Let's start with 9 because I know 45 can be divided by 9. 360 can be divided by 9. Alright, so we're going to divide this by 9 and 9. So that gives me 45 divided by 9 is 5. 360 divided by 9 is, well, let's use the long division method. 360 divided by 9 in 36, that's how many 9? Very good, it's 4. 4 times 9 is 36. Minus, give me 0. Bring the 0 up because there's nothing to bring the 0 down for. Okay, so just bring that up. So that gives me 40. But I can reduce further. I can divide this by 5. I can divide this by 5. That gives me 5 divided by 5 is 1. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So that means this is 1/8 times pi 4 squared. Alright, so that means area of that sector is 1/8 times pi 4 to the square. So we're going to say 1/8 times 22/7 times 4 squared. Alright, now see what you want to do is you combine this into a one fraction format. Alright, 1 times 22 is 22 times 4 times 4 over 8 times 7. Now whenever you're multiplying like this, you can simplify. 4 and 8 can be simplified. I can divide 4 by 4, which gives me 1. 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. See that? Now I can simplify with 2 and 4, or 2 with 22, which I use the simplest one. Alright, so divide 2 by 2 is 1, divide 4 by 2 is 2. See that? What about 7? No, I can't. So now I can go and time 22 times 2 is 44 over 7. And we're looking area, centimeters squared. So now you take the calculator, okay, and then you punch in 44 over 7. Okay, 44 divided by 7 is 6.29 centimeters squared. See that? Be careful, the unit centimeters squared, because the sector, we're finding the area. Alright, even though it's only a sector, alright, a section of the circle, but still you're finding the area. You still use the centimeters squared. Alright, let's do another one, okay? Let's say Mr. Mac to give you this time. Okay, this time I didn't give you the circle, but I just told you the sector. This is a part of the circle. Alright, and then to the center, and the angle is 30 degrees. Alright, so what do? I want to find the area. What's our step? First step. Exactly, we put down the formula. So the area of the sector is going to be angle over 360 pi r squared, right there. And then of course I got to give you the radius. Let's say I give you the radius as 6 centimeters. And then you plug it in, alright? So the angle is 30 degrees over 360 pi and 6 squared. Alright? So that means 6 times 6. That's what 6 squared means. We're going to simplify. 0, 0 cancels out. I can divide 3 by 3. I can divide 36 by 3. That gives me 3 divided by 3 is 1. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Alright, pi 6 times 6. Why did I do that? So that's why I can simplify 6 with 12. See that? That's why I kind of break it up. I didn't times them out. Alright, 6 times 6, 36. Rather than putting 36, I put like this. Now I see 6 can cancel out 6 with 12. Because 6 can divide by 6, 12 can divide by 6. So that gives this one 1, this one becomes 2. Now I can cancel 2 with 6. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 6 divided by 2 is 3. See that? So that becomes pi times 3. So 3 pi is the area of that sector. Okay, centimeters squared. Because we're finding the area. The unit I'm using is centimeters, so the area is going to be centimeters squared. Alright? So this way you don't have to put the centimeter in there because it's going to confuse you. So but you know the final answer is going to be centimeters squared. So for a moment just set the unit aside, just solve it. Once you get the final answer, put a centimeter squared. Now you don't leave the answer at 3 pi unless they ask you to do that. Okay, so you take the calculator and then we know that 3 times 3.142. So we're going to use the decimal 3.142 and that gives me 9.43 centimeters squared. So that gives me 9.43 centimeters squared. Alright? Okay, so this is pretty much arithmetic. The thing that I want you to understand is how to do this right here and come up with a fraction. Very important, alright? So if I had to give you a sector with a 240 degrees angle, so how do I do that? Pretty much easy. Area of the sector is going to be 240 over 360 pi r squared, right there. And simplify this, reduce it. 0 and 0 cancels out, and you can divide that by 12, gives me 2. So I can divide this by 12, I can divide this by 12. Okay? So that 24 divided by 12 is 2, 36 divided by 12 is 3. 2 over 3 pi r squared. Of course I have to give you the radius also, okay? I told you the radius is 5 centimeters. Alright? With those two information, you should be able to find the area of the sector. The key thing I want you to understand is how to convert the 24 degrees, 200. The key thing I want you to understand is how to convert the 240 degrees angle of the sector, okay, into a fraction like this, 203. That means you're finding 2/3 of that circle, the area of that circle. That's what it is. Alright? Okay, good. Let Mr. Mac erase the board and let's talk about more. And I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear student. Now earlier we learned how to find the area of a sector with the angle and the radius was given. So very important, to find the area of a sector you have to have what? The angle at the center and the radius. You gotta have those two information. Alright, and let's write down the formula. What was that? The area is the angle of to the center over 360 times pi r squared. Alright, see that? These are two unknown. The angle and the radius. See that? There's two unknown. So you got to know those two unknown in order to find the area. Now, let's say for example, if I to give you the area and the radius, will you be able to find the angle? Yes. If there are three unknowns, as long as you got two knowns, the third unknown can be found. See that? So it's very important. You cannot have three unknowns and only know the one unknown. You got to have two of it not to find the third one. Alright, so like for example in this case you got A is a one unknown, r is one unknown, and then theta is another unknown. So 3, 1, 2, 3. I need to know the angle and the radius to find the area. See that? I need to know the area and the radius to find the angle. So now I told you the area, okay? I told you the area of a sector, okay? Area of a sector is, let's say, 40 centimeters squared. And then I told you the radius of that sector is to the center, okay, is, let's say, 6 centimeters. And I want you to find the angle. Find the angle. So how do we do that? Pretty easy. Take that formula, write that down. So area equals to angle of to the center over 360 times pi r squared. Alright? Okay, so when we put that equation, A equals to theta over 360 pi r squared. Now substitute. You're given the area, which is what? 40. We're just going to drop the centimeter square right now, because we know our final answer is going to be what? Degrees, angle. Okay, we're looking for angle. Alright, so we're just going to take the centimeter out, so it'll be easier for calculating. Alright, and we don't know the theta. We're going to leave it the way it says, 360, and we know pi is what? 22 over 7. Alright, and we know r is given, the radius is what? 6 squared. Alright, that means 6 times 6, which is what? 36. Alright, okay, now let's combine them. Okay, so that means 22 times 6 times 6 is 36 times theta over 360 times 7, which equals to 40. See that? I put it all in a form of numerator and denominator. That'll be easier for me to bring them across the bridge. Okay? Okay, so I put it all in 22 times 36 times theta over 360 times 7. Now before I multiply, now look at this, I can simplify 36 with 360. 36 divided by 36 is what? 1. 360 divided by 36 is 10. See that? Now it's a lot easier to multiply. So now look at that. 22 times 1 is 22 theta over 10 times 7 is 70. See that? That's the purpose of cancelling them out, reducing it, simplifying it, alright? Because otherwise I have to take 22 times 36. I know you will be like, quickly say, whoa, I'm going to use the calculator. No. That's why Mr. Max is not big fan of a calculator. Because the moment you see like that, oh, right away you want to start calculating using calculator. No, I want you to look at this. You can simplify. See that? 36 and can be simplified with 360. And that's why we did that. See that? Now look, otherwise can you imagine that? 22 times 36, we're going to line it up, and then 360 times 7, and then trying to simplify. No, it's easier when the numbers are broken up like this to simplify them. Now look at that, 22 times 1 is 22 theta. 10 times 7 is 70. So now I can isolate theta. Because I'm looking for theta, who got to go first? 70 or 22, doesn't matter, okay? So we always been doing the denominator first. Let's bring the 70 across, okay? So we're going to bring it there. So division, cross the bridge, multiplication. So we're going to be 40 times 70, okay, which has become 22 theta, because we took the 70 across already. Left is 22 theta, but I'm looking for theta, so 22 got to go. So 40 times 70 over 22, because 22 is multiplying, cross the bridge becomes division. So theta right there. Okay, so can I simplify? Yes, I can divide this by 2, gives me 11, divide this by 2 gives me 20. So now I can use the calculator, alright? So we're going to take 20 times 70, alright? 20 times 70, that gives me 1,400. I'm going to divide that by 11. Okay, so that gives me 127.3 degrees. Now keep in mind, when you're looking for the angle, you put the degrees unit, okay? So 127.3 degrees angle. So in other words, if I had to show you the sector, so it's going to be like this. And this is 127.3 degrees, and the radius is 6 centimeters. And that's the area is 40 centimeters right there. See that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, alright, let Mr. Mac erase the board. Let's do more, okay? I'll be back to you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, now let's recap what we did earlier. Earlier we did what? When we find this area of a sector, okay, with the angle and the radius given, and then we went and learned how to find the angle to the center when the area and the radius given. How about this time if I give you the angle and the area and find the radius? How do you do that? Okay, first let's understand. Let's put down the formula. Okay, what's the formula for area for sector? Area for sector is the angle to the center over 360 times pi r squared. Alright, so this time we want to see how to find the r if I give you the angle and the area of the sector. Pretty easy. Isolate for r. That's what it is. Okay, so again, for a sector you gotta have two, you have to know the two, or given two for the unknowns, okay, because there are three unknowns. So in order to solve one unknown, you got to know the two unknowns. Alright, so because in the sector you got angle involved, area of a sector, angle to the center involved. Okay, so now let's say for example I give you a problem. Okay, I give you a scenario where I say find the radius. Okay, we're going to find the radius. Alright, find the radius. Okay, so and we are given is what? The area I told you is 64 centimeters squared, and then the angle is 240 degrees, and I want to find the radius. How do you do that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Take this, write down a, the area of the sector, angle over 360 times pi r squared. Alright, and we know the angle is what? 240. So we're going to put that 240 over 360. We want to simplify. Okay, let's substitute everything. Okay, you know pi is what? 22 over 7, and r squared we don't know r. Alright, we're going to leave it like that. Let's go ahead and simplify them before we move them across the bridge. Okay, and we know area is 64. Alright, so now let's do that. Let's simplify. We can simplify 0 and 0, and can divide 24 with 12, and I can divide 36 with 12. So that gives me, very good, 2 over 3 times 22 over 7 times r squared, which means I can also write, can I simplify anymore? No. What's 2 times 22? It's 44. So it's 44 r squared over 3 times 7 is 21. See that after I simplify, it's a lot easier to multiply. That's my goal, is to simplify them so that it'll be easier to multiply. Okay, and then let's rewrite 64 right there. My goal is to isolate r. So anything surrounding r got to go. So let's start with 21. Okay, 21 is dividing, cross the bridge becomes multiply. All right, so 64 times 21, and that left 44 r squared. And again, I'm looking for r. Okay, so we're going to take 44 across. 44 is multiplying, cross the bridge becomes division. Okay, so that gives me r squared. And again, I'm still looking for r, but right now in the form of squared. Before I square root to find the r, let's simplify this. Okay, let's reduce this. So let's take the calculator. All right, so we can take 64 times 21 equals to 1344, and we're going to divide that by 44, and that gives me 30.55, okay, for r squared. So we are looking for r. Okay, so r squared is 30.55. In order to find r, I have to square root. See that? That gives me r. If I square root this side, I have to square root on the other side. Very important. Okay, so now I can take the square root of 30.55. Okay, so let's do that. So 30.55 square root gives me 5.53. Okay, gives me 5.53 right there. And that's the radius. And what is missing? The unit, centimeters. How do I know it's centimeters? Because I gave you the area 64 centimeters squared. Alright, if I gave you in a form of centimeters squared in the area, the unit for radius will become centimeters. The angle is always degrees. Alright, keep in mind. Alright, okay, pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, so very straightforward. Okay, the key thing is you need to understand this, how this works, and able to move them around to isolate the one you're looking for. Okay, good. Let Mr. Mac erase the board and let's talk about something that Mr. Mac on the way to the studio to do this recording. Mr. Mac, it was raining, okay? It was raining, so that's what I want to share with you. I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright my dears, today I told you I'm going to share with you something. This is what happened this morning. It was raining. Yes, it was pretty heavy. So this morning Mr. Mac got into my car and then of course I got to put my wiper on, okay? So my windshield wiper. So as I was putting the wiper, as I was driving, and I was like, looked at it, I was like, wow, I never even thought about it. All this time I took it for granted. You know, as I looked at that, how that wiper was creating exactly a sector of a circle, with that wiper being there at the edge of the at the bottom of the wiper. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is Mr. Mac's windshield. Alright, this is Mr. Mac's windshield, and then this is where the center of the wiper. Okay, actually the edge should be considered the center right there. And then I got another one right here. Okay, so as they were wiping, okay, it created a sector. See that? So then I thought about it. Wow, look at that. These are the areas where that covers, and this is the areas where this wiper covers. So when I'm sitting here and watching, so I can get a clear view. So look at this. If I had to tell you the area of this angle, okay, the angle sector is, let's say, 120 degrees, and this one also 120 degrees. And I know the length of the wiper. Let's say if I say the length of this wiper is, let's say, 7 centimeters, and this one is, let's say, 8 centimeters. Alright? And I ask you to find the total area. Alright? There's 2 wipers covers. How do you do that? That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Because we know the angle the wiper is covering is what? 120. See that? So the wiper is going like this, like this, like this, and like this. See that? And the same thing with this one. This wiper also covers like that, 120. Okay? So we're going to use exactly the area of the sector of angle to the center, 120 degrees. Because remember, this is the center point for that wiper. That's the wiper acts the radius. Okay? So let's do that. So what's the formula? We know that area of a sector, angle divided by 360 times pi r squared. Alright? Okay? Well, let Mr. Mac erase this so we have some room. Oh, let's just keep it there. So that way I want you to see it. Okay? How? So let's do first let's say this one A1, and then this one is A2. We're going to find the area of the sector A1 first. Alright? So let's do that. Okay? So we know the angle is what? 120 degrees over 360 times pi, which is 22 over 7, and the radius is what? 7 squared. Alright? Okay? So now what are we going to do? We're going to simplify. 0, 0 cancels out. Alright? 12 can be divided by 12. 36 can be divided by 12. See that? So I can divide this by 12. I can divide this by 12. So that gives me 1 over, because 12 divided by 12 is 1. 36 divided by 12 is 3. So 1/3. Okay? Times, now look at that, 7. This is 7 squared. That means 7 times 7. That means 7 cancels out. Alright? So 22 over 1 times 7. So that means 22 times 7 divided by 3. And that should give me the area of this sector of the circle. Alright? So let's take the calculator. So we're going to take 22 times 7, which is 154, and we're going to divide that by 3. So that gives me 51.3. Okay? So the area of the first sector, okay, this one will be 51.3 centimeters squared. Alright? 51.3 centimeters squared. That's how much this wiper covers, the area. Now we're going to find the area of this wiper that covers. Alright? So what are we going to do? Again, we're going to use the same formula. Alright? So we're going to say A2 sector, the angle over 360 times pi r squared. And the angle is what? Also 120 on this one, also 120 and 120. Except the radius is 8. See that? The radius is 8. So we're going to substitute. Okay, 120 divided by 360 times pi is 22 over 7 times 8 squared. Alright, so 8 times 8, which means 8 squared. Alright, okay, so now what's our first step? Simplify. Very important. Let's simplify. This one can be simplified with 0, 0 cancels out, and 12 divided by 12, 36 divided by 12 gives me 1 over 3 times 22 over 7 times 8 is 64. Now we're going to combine this. Put it in form of numerator, denominator, alright? In one fraction format. So it'll be 1 times 22 times 64 over 3 times 7 is 21. Now we take the calculator. Okay, so we know 1 times 22 is 22. So 22 times 64 gives me 1408. And then I'm going to divide that by 21. Divide that by 21 gives me 67 centimeters squared, because it gives me 67.047. we just could round up to the round number, so give me 67 centimeters squared, and the other one was 51.3 centimeters. So we're going to combine them. Okay, so the total area covered, okay, is 67 plus with, okay, we're going to say centimeters squared plus with 51.3 centimeters squared. Whenever you have numbers like this, you line them up. Okay, so you put 51.3, line it up with 67, and then you add them. Alright, see 3, bring it down, and then bring decimal, because you can put this as a form of decimal too, if that's going to help you to add them. 3 plus 0 is 3, and then bring the decimal straight down. 1 plus 7 is 8, 5 plus 6 is 11, right there. So that gives me 118.3 centimeters squared. Wow, that means, tells me what? That's how much this 2 wipers is covering. See that? Okay, now that's a double overlap right here, so they're doing 2 works. So that, say I'm driving, so I can always see that? Okay, because that's my point of view, and I'm looking there, I want to make sure that one's always wiped twice, because this one only wiped once every time it moves, because when this one goes up, this one comes down and wipes it. Alright, very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, Mr. Beck said, wow, here I'm going to be teaching the sector of area, and here this rain and the wiper was just, wiping it. It's like, wait a minute, that's interesting. See that? How mathematics plays in our day-to-day. I'm sure the engineers, like the automotive, industry, they thought of all this. They make use of this to come up what would be the ideal radius of the wiper, the length of the wiper, to create the maximum coverage. So when you're driving, you can have a better view. See that when it's raining really heavy, so that it cleans the windshield. Alright, isn't that amazing? Isn't that awesome? Alright, my dear student, okay, it's time for hands-on practice. That's right. Alright, okay, let's do some hands-on practice, and give me a few seconds. Let's check Pablo first, what he's doing. Our dear Pablo is busy putting hands-on practice. Alright, my dear students, give me a few seconds, and then we'll come back, we'll call Pablo out, and we'll do some hands-on. I'll see you in a few seconds. My dear students, you are ready for some hands-on practice? I know you are. Well, let's see if Pablo is ready. Yes, he is. Let's call him out. You want to call him or me? I'll call him. Pablo. Our dear Pablo. Come on over, Pablo. Our dear students are ready for hands-on practice. Okay, here's Pablo, and he's going to hand over the worksheet. My dear students, and be sure to pause the video. Alright, once you're done, invite Mr. Mack in. Here it is. Have fun. Oh, good. All right, let's do it, okay? Now the first one says what? Find the area of the shaded sector below, okay? So you're given, okay? You're given a circle. So you're given a circle, and then it's a center right there, and then you're given a shaded area, all right? Okay, so they told the angle is 140 degrees, and this is the shaded area that we're looking for, the area, all right? And then you're given the radius is 9 centimeters. So should we be able to find the area? Yes. What's the formula? And we know that the shaded area equals to the reference angle to the center over 360 times pi r squared. And the reference angle is what? 140 degrees, okay? So we're going to put 140 degrees over 360 times pi is 22 over 7 times r is 9 squared, all right? So 9 times 9, okay, right there. All right, and we go any further, let's simplify. Okay, we're going to cancel 0 and 0, 14 and 7. I can divide 14 by 7 gives me 2. I can divide 7 by 7 gives me 1. See that? I can divide 22 by 2 gives me 11. 36 by 2 gives me 18. See that? Pretty easy, isn't it? So that's the key thing. You got to simplify. Now it's easy to multiply. Now wait a minute. Look at this. 18 and 9 squared. Let's rewrite this thing again, okay? So 8, and the area is 2 over 18 times 11 over 1 times 9 times 9. Because 9 squared is 9 times 9. Why did I do that? See, look at that. 18 and 9. I can simplify. 1, 9 divided by 9 is 1. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And look at that. 2 and 2. I can divide this by 2 gives me 1. Divide this by 2 gives me 1. Look at this. That's the beauty about simplifying. Now look at how easy it's going to be. 1 times 11 times 1 times 9. 11 times 9 is 99 over 1. Which gives me 99 centimeters squared. And that's the area. Wow. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, that's the key thing, okay? Able to simplify. Once you simplify, it comes out to be easy to multiply, all right? Okay, that's the thing. So now we found the area of this sector right there to the center, all right? It's 99 centimeters squared. So it's very important, able to simplify them. Okay, good. All right, okay, now let's do problem number 2. Problem number 2 said find the radius of the circle, and given that the shaded area of the sector is 25 centimeters squared. All right, okay, so problem number 2, we're given a circle. All right, this is a circle right here. Alright, and that's the center point, and then they told you that the shaded area right here, alright, and it was given the area is what? 25 centimeters squared, and they want you to find the radius from that radius. What else we needed? Okay, let's write down the formula. Okay, we got A, and then they told you this angle right here is 120 degrees. Okay, so we know the area of a shaded, area of a sector is what? Reference angle over 360 times pi r squared. Alright, so we're looking for r. Is this given? Is it given? No, but they gave you on the other side 120, but we want this one. Very important, see that? So be careful, don't use 120 because you're finding this side, but they didn't give us the area for this side, but they gave you the area for this side. So that's why it's very important to find this angle. So how do we find that angle? We know that the whole thing is what? 360. So we subtract that with 120. 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that means this is 240 degrees to the center. Alright? Very important. So now we can substitute. We know the area is 25 and the angle is 240 over 360 times pi, 22 over 7, and we don't know r. Okay, we're going to leave it like that. Alright? Okay, before we move them around, let's simplify. Okay, 0, 0 cancels out. 24, I can divide that by 12. 36, I can divide by 12. Alright, so that gives me 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. And then times 22 over 7 times r squared. I can write this by 2 times 22 is what? 44. So 44 r squared over 21. Right there. Okay, so 25. So I'm looking for r squared. So I'm going to take the 21 across the bridge. So that gives me, let's write down over here. So it's going to be 25 times 21. All right, and that gave me equals to, because 21 is already gone, left is what? 44 r squared. 44 r squared. All right, and then who got to go next? 44. And what's 44 doing to r squared? It's multiplying. All right, when that cross the bridge, it becomes division. So 25 times 21 over 44 equals to r squared. Now we're looking for r. All right, before we want to square root, let's simplify, solve this first. Okay, so let's take the calculator. All right, so we're going to take 25 times 21, that gives me 525, and we can divide that by 44, and that gave me 11.93. okay, that's r squared. All right, so 11.93 r squared. So pretty much is r squared equals to 11.93. I just kind of reversed it. Doesn't, okay, you can do that. All right, and I'm looking for r. That means I'm going to take square root both sides, because that will give me r. Square root of r squared will give me r. That means I'm going to find what the square root of 11.93. okay, so I'm going to take a square root of that. That give me 3.45 centimeters right there. 3.45 centimeters. So it's very important, okay, able to set this up and then isolate r to get to the radius. Okay, all right, my dear students, let's do problem number 3. Let Mr. Mac erase the board and we'll do problem number 3. I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, are you ready for problem number 3? I know you are. Alright, let's do problem number 3, okay? Now, problem number 3 says, the figure below shows a sector of a circle with a radius of 10 centimeters and an area of 49 centimeters squared. Find the sector angle at the center of the circle. All right, okay, so problem number 3, you're given a circle. All right, we really don't know what's the angle is. All right, so they just kind of center, and then this is the look, and we're looking for this angle right here. We don't know what the angle is, but we're told what the radius is 10 centimeters, and we're told the area of that sector is 49 centimeters squared, and we want to find what? The angle right there, that angle right there. Okay, let's write down the formula. What's the formula? We know the area sector equals to the reference angle over 360 times pi r squared. So we're looking for this angle right there. That means we need to know this and this. Is it given? Yes. You're given the area, which is 49 centimeters squared. And are you given the radius? Yes, 10 centimeters. Okay, we can plug those in. Alright, so we can put 360 times pi is 22 over 7 times 10 squared. Alright, so now what are we going to do? We're going to say we can simplify. So let's do that. So we know that this is pretty much 10 times 10. That means 0 can cancel out right there. Alright, so and then you can cancel out by dividing this by 2, dividing this by 2. That makes this one 11, this one 18. So now let's write that down. Angle over 18 times 11 times 10, 18 times 7 right there. Okay, so can we simplify further? How about this 2? I can divide this by 2, gives me 9. Divide this by 2 gives me 5. See that? So now I can times 11 times 5 is 55 theta over 9 times 7 is 63. See that? It's in our timetable scope that we're able to times them out. See that? Before that, look at all these big numbers. If you don't simplify, it's going to be difficult. That's why the beauty about able to simplify. Now I can isolate theta by moving 63 across the bridge. Division across the bridge becomes multiplication. Okay? And then who's going to next? 55. What's 55 is doing? Multiplying. So multiplication across the bridge becomes division. See that? Left is theta isolated. Right there. So now I take the calculator and I should be able to find the theta. So let's do that. So we can take 49 times 63. Give me 3087. I'm going to divide that by 55. And give me 56.13 degrees. So 56.13 degrees. And that's the angle right there. Pretty easy, isn't it? Alright, the key is what? Setting them up. Set that up, substitute the node, the unknown with the given, okay, and then solve for the one unknown. Isolate that one unknown. So you got three unknowns, all right? The A, the area, the angle, and the radius, and it's given. This is given, and this is the one we are looking for. So you should be able to isolate the angle, and that's what pretty much we did. Came to 56.13. Alright, my dear student, you should be ready for the quiz. That's right, you should be ready for the quiz. And this is also the end of the lesson. End of the lesson of the circles. Okay, and you learned a lot, and I'm so proud of you. And you did a good job. You stick with Mr. Mac, and you learned everything that you need to know about circles. And you did your hands-on practice. You did your quiz. Wow, you know what? That's why you are special. That's why you are the best. And Mr. Mac always knew you deserved the best. That's why you are special. And you are the best. And that's why Mr. Mac is here to bring the best for you. Because you deserve the best. And it's coming from the best. Alright, my dear students. Let's go get them, alright? And I'll see you at the next lesson. Have fun. Bye-bye.